everyone, lord.agion here with another Grey Goo Replay. So on the left side we have humans are weak IPRAY for fix track, TRK. And spawn on the right side, now in the center, on top of this mountain, we have IamMagic. It's been a bit of conversation going on, didn't really been paying attention. When losing the bike, I think he's talking about bike rush. But let's get to the game. We have a second. Oh, actually, no, that's anti-heavy sentinel. And plus, he actually went for a conduit wire here instead of a refinery immediately. Bit interesting. I haven't seen that before. Got a second refinery here, and distractor going up here. And this Goo player is definitely want to apply some early aggression. Or now he's heading back. Oh, I think I know. He's built two small proteins. Faster spawning time, give him just a little bit extra edge of trying to get his units up in the front and start murdering. Moves his refinery from here to here just to make it in a bit safer location. Now he's coming back. Interesting, he's jumping it back and forth. Another anti-heavy sentinel coming down. I thought he already built one, or it's maybe the same one. No, he's building that one. And looks like he's going to focus on this conduit wire. He does have a backup conduit wire to the right for the war factory. But no, that was the conduit. There was no backup. And then he places his refinery, removing his other refinery here. No, I can't even tell what the heck, how to explain all of this. He's teleporting all the buildings around. It's just hard to explain and hard to keep track of. Interesting, nonetheless. Each time teleports, leaves behind a conduit wire. He's trying to get the. I think that's actually a free conduit wire. It doesn't cost anything. I'm not exactly sure. I'm more of a beater player myself. The refiner gets unpowered. He needs to get that back as soon as possible because it's hurting his eco every second it is not powered up. And he moves back his refinery just a little bit. Has a revolver out, trying to deal with this force. Second Mother Goo is now up. Though he is on two refineries, so he's actually have been a bit on better eco for a bit of time. But of course, with the faster production, the Goo player, he's been applying a pretty good harassment force. Looks like two more war factories are now coming up. Going to build a bit more of a force. A second, I think that's being built and not being teleported. I've been having trouble keeping track to all the teleporting. And teleports this anti-heavy sentinel over here. Looks like the Striders may be going for harassing this extractor. Building on two more additional war factories. Do not see any tech upgrades just yet. Could see some tech here, or here. Maybe I'm always in preference of early aircraft, but early aircraft would not be that great due to the fact that there's a small force here, and they take some time to get out. This revolver's almost dead. And this extractor's power to go down. Not focus on the weak ones first. Anti-heavy sentinel is now up and shooting. Strider's trying to run away. He has one Strider left, but he has 4 Mother Goos out now. So he does have quite a bit of economy. The human player only has 3 refinery, the third one's all the way up here. Strider in the bush, trying to get a little ambush. Probably going to send in 2 to overwhelm it. And he should have no problem taking out this Strider. His Mother Goo will be spotted and take a good volley. Puts up the mountain. It's not refining any more income, so it needs to get back on this catalyst field and start refining. Getting some drovers out to counter the light units. 8 drovers should easily overwhelm these 5 units, especially when these two aren't even part of the other three. And really, you can't really run away from drovers since they can move and shoot. Might as well have this one stand and fight, allowing these guys have time to stand, well, to escape, since these guys will not be moving towards these if they're standing and fighting. Anti-heavy sentinel now coming up to protect this entrance. There's two entrances in the area, other than having your stuff climb over the walls. If you have a man, I can't speak right now. Small proteins, large proteins, or mother goos, or aircraft can of course fly over terrain. He definitely should see this harvester. He should probably follow it back to the extractor just to spot out and perhaps even harass it. Getting a sixth refinery up. There are two refineries down here. Plus another one here, though there is not a catalyst vent here. There's only actually two springs. It's just that there's a pool here you can harvest from. Got the drovers still right there. And the game, of course, slowed down a bit. Going for a repair subroutine is pretty a common upgrade. I don't even know what the third one is. I remember there's repair subroutines, anti-heavy sentinels remain on power. I actually don't remember the other one that is in that slot. Small protein. Economy's fine. He has plus 10. He probably should get that down to a plus 2. A plus 2 or plus 3 is good. Plus 10 is a bit too much. Plus 5 is fine. Just you want to squeeze out as much economy as possible. 8 mother goos are up, though there is 6 refineries, so that is a pretty sizable amount. This one is actually pretty damaged. Perhaps he should repair that, just to prevent it from going down. But I suppose if you're actually losing buildings in your main base, you are probably going to lose the game anyway, so probably actually not that important. The human player does have a superior armory in numbers, you can see by population. Gladys are out, which is a very good counter to the drovers, since they have only 5 damage with the armor. There's only 2 damage will be applied per hit on the Gladys. And there's 4 Gladys. They can withstand quite a bit, assuming they also stay apart and not get splashed down. Looks like we will see engagement here. Drover's trying to get back in the bush. Nope, he's going straight out retreat because he cannot contend with the armor. More proteins, perhaps he should invest in the striders. This mother goo is not being attacked. He should. Oh, he's getting on top of the mountain, but there is a monitor. Yeah, that's what it's called. I always forget the name difference between the monitor and the beaters scout craft. And looks like these Gladys are being overwhelmed by the superior number of drovers. But you can see they can actually take quite a bit of beating from the drovers, just that there's so many of them. Gladys is not really shooting. Oh, I haven't seen this glitch of where they're not actually sometimes you see this graphical glitch where they're shooting but not actually showing the projectile. It doesn't happen that often. I thought there's been recent patches to fix that, but it's just a bit interesting now that it sort of re-popped up. I haven't seen that actually for a while. More Gladys are out. Anti-heavy sentinels are a good idea since the 5 damage will only be 1 damage to the anti-heavy sentinel. There are striders out. They do have a damage of 11. They do have penetration of 3 armor, so it will mitigate 3 damage. So it will be 8 damage per shot from the striders. So these anti-heavy sentinels will still take quite a bit of fire. More and more striders coming out. Perhaps artillery may be good, but with the high armor and the human structures, it's actually really hard for artillery to be really effective. They're good against infantry. Well, units, not very good versus buildings. Bit of move order there, losing quite a bit of units there. And these harvesters are being cut off. There is a bit of a defensive force, but that defensive force won't do much with this standard force here. And we're going to see a large wave of units over here. Monitor is over here scouting out. He did see the area. What is he thinking now? He sees this force here, so we will see engagement up here, or hopefully there would be engagement. It'd be good if he actually defended this. Half drovers, a little bit. Yeah, it's about half drovers, half striders. But he needs to defend this. Both his economies are, both the north and south economy is being denied. A nice split by the Goo player, splitting up the army to prevent both refineries, well, sides of economy refining, which is now starving the human player of income. Looks like there's going to be a force trying to break out. 3 howitzers are now out, doing some nice damage over here. And over here, it could go either 50-50. A lot of these striders are not actually attacking, if you notice. So this force is going to definitely clean up the top area. Though this is actually a quite large force, though there is howitzers to constantly apply pressure. Getting a nice wave of drovers. Howitzers are vulnerable to drovers due to the fact that they have 0 armor. And they tend to be clumped up since they're artillery. They're meant for stutter stepping away. One of the howitzers do go down. A second one does go down also. Very nice pick me up. The last howitzer will do some damage, it's still not enough DPS to splash down a whole large group of enemies. Got an anti-heavy sentinels doing quite a bit of damage now. Not being really focused down, they do have a very good DPS. And he didn't risk losing his entire army just trying to take out the anti-heavy sentinels, since it would be very costly and ineffective. We do see a counterattack force here, but the force is being split up. We've got the light units here and the armored units here, splitting up his Goo force to hit both of them. Drovers trying to spawn, will come in and protect, though this force won't do that much. Gladys were cleaned up. More striders over here. This human player is pretty well contained in this base area, which is not very good. Perhaps he should invest into some bomber craft, I would imagine. 2 monitors are out, that's a bit overkill. I see the howitzer fire coming in, leaving 3 of the striders up left. More and more small proteins coming in. Perhaps these small protein will jump in on the howitzers. No, it will not. Yeah, I would imagine aircraft would be a better way to break out of this containment. Have a bunch of fighter craft to go around, snipe the small proteins when they're being reinforcing an area. Just deny the units. I would imagine that may be a good alternative than playing defensive howitzers. We got a big wave of drovers. Drovers, since they spawned in a half health because they were just built, the howitzers will focus them down quite readily. This force still denying the 2 refineries on top from gaining any income. And there may be occasional harvester from the bottom one that gets through. But at this rate, he's very well contained. He's only sitting in really 2 actual refining refineries? Refineries? You know what I'm talking about. I hope. And more and more force. Looks like this is going to be finish off the human player just gets contained in. Not really going for any ways to break the contain, though just holding contain with howitzer fire. Aircraft are a good way to break the contain since they're not pulled back by walls and terrain. And now this very large force is trying to run in, sort of stutter stepping, but overall moving in, so he did lose a lot of units that way. And now this top force is going to come in and engage. There is no really any sizable defense up here, only a couple units. And the Goo player is not really worried about these monitors, since it's why waste the resources to kill scout craft when not really scouting much, just where the size of the force on the outside. A teleporter would be good, but it's too expensive for what he wants, what he should be doing. And I honestly believe bombercraft or fightercraft would be the best way. See, this harvesting line is actually getting through for the time being. Got this force coming in for attack in this area, trying to clear out this area so we can get some economy in. Not a sizable force down here, so he's safe for now. Large proteins come in, perhaps bastions, perhaps destructors, maybe crescents. All of them good idea. In fact, he could go sneaky and bastions, dual bastions. Holy crap, that's a lot of large proteins. Getting also some crescents. A lot of crescents, 8 crescents. 2 bastions to withstand the fire and to help spot the area. Perhaps he should also invest in the healing pool to get these bastions stay alive even longer. Crescents now coming in, bombarding the area. Yeah, healing pools would be great for the bastions, keeping them nice and healed up. They're a very tanky unit. A lot of crescents. It's actually a bit overkill and a bit dangerous to have this many, because they are very vulnerable. You're also getting some AA to go along with it. And this is pretty much the end of the game. There's nothing really much you can break out this contain. I would say fightercraft or bombercraft would be a good idea, but he does have AA also here, just in case. You can also place one of these crescents up here to sort of get some vision up here. Looks he's trying to break out the contain on top. Well, the Howitzer is way too close. And this is pretty much the end of the game. I don't see any way of breaking this siege. He even has a couple of destructors there. Lack of tech really... Technology, it gives you some great advantages of different playstyles, different ways to counter enemy, so on and so forth. So one thing I would recommend that team players do, don't go straight up ground force, get some aircraft, get some stealth tech, get something different. Oh, stealth tech won't be that great since stealth daggers are not exactly the strongest thing. Pretty good. I'm pretty sure that these crescents are on attack move order. We got 2 Mother Goos coming up, trying to steal the economy up here. He's also trying to break the contain. More and more small proteins going to come in. They can climb over those walls, get a nice flanking opportunity. A lot of drovers here. Drovers are good versus the Howitzers, not very good versus the armor. And I'm just going to let this replay run out. If you start losing buildings, that's pretty much the end of the game. My recommendation, if you get to this point, surrender. No point of wasting the time of both yourself and the other player. Huh. Apparently the Bastion can taunt units that are still being produced. Did not know about that. Or maybe it's taunting the factory itself. Well, it's not taunting conduit wire though, Priners, so probably it's a unit being produced. It is a 2v2 map, which Goo players do heavily favor 2v2 maps with all the uneven terrain and all the extra cattle spools really help them out. 2's Mother Goose are going to come in and take on the howitzers. It's more the containment he had. Yeah, the containment probably did, he did lose quite a bit of early units, which really suffered him. I would say what really hurt him the most is being contained in the area and going for defensive techniques and not exactly offensive techniques and unit composition. But that's just my opinion. This is Lord.agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.